Welcome to Ask Phyllis. It is July 1, Canada Day. Look how nice you look, Mom. You're red and white. So today we're going to finish up the part 2. Hang on, guys. Sorry, just checking something. Last week we talked about your mom, and that was really enlightening. And then you said you should know more about, you could tell us more about your father. And here we are. Let's do it now. When was his birthday?
May 29th.
Oh, nice.
1892.
So, what do you know about him?
Well, I know that he was born on PEI. They were living in the southern part of the province, in a place called Cape Travis, I think. Anyway, it was on the south side. And he went to Prince of Wales College, and he got to be a teacher, and he taught. He ended up teaching school in a one-room school in Fortune Bridge, and he lived with a family there named Francis. They had a big house quite near the school, and that was the place where teachers always boarded. So he boarded there, and it wasn't very long before he was romantically involved with their younger daughter, whose name was Adela, and they were married. And after they were married, the war broke out, and he went into the army and went overseas. And I think my next older sister, Dorothy, was born just before he went overseas. He never saw her as a baby. And when he got back from the war, 9 months later I was born. And at that time, he worked in Charlottetown for a while, selling life insurance, but apparently that didn't work very well. And then he ended up living in a house in central Quebec, next door to his father, who had a very successful farm. I don't know what his financial arrangements were, but he lived in a beautiful big house. And as a matter of fact, when you look on your Facebook profile, you'll see my grandfather's house is in the background.
What kind of farm?
A mixed farm, not a really big farm. They grew potatoes, of course, as everybody did. That was probably the marketable thing. And then, in the early 20s, along came, the early 1920s that is, along came the fox industry, and he became a fox rancher. And so very soon that was what my dad was doing. And he worked with the fox ranch that his father had, and he had a little fox ranch of his own that actually my mother looked after quite a bit. And my dad became quite knowledgeable about it, and they decided to register all of the foxes. All across Canada, anybody who wanted to raise foxes had to have them registered. And he spent quite a bit of time doing that. He traveled as far west as Saskatchewan. I don't know how much farther he got than that. I do remember that when he came back, he brought me a green dress. That was my favorite dress for a long time. And he stayed in central Quebec for quite a while, and then they moved into Charlottetown, and they established a Charlottetown Fur Sales, and he was the manager. And they would take on consignment furs from ranch farmers that were doing a little bit of ranching. Some of them were big ranchers, but most of them were quite small. And they would send them overseas. It was quite an involved procedure. I won't go into it here, but all that had to be done. But most of them were marketed in London, and eventually the money would be put in the bank. And I was through school by then and had business training, and I used to work in the office, and part of my job was handling these invoices that came to us in pounds, and I had to calculate from the pounds to the dollars, and then I had to track down who these particular skins had belonged to. They'd all been registered and numbered, and figure out how much money we owed the people. It was quite an interesting job, one of my first accounting jobs when I was about 16.
Oh, my phone is ringing. Let's stop.
Okay.
Shall we?
Sure.
Are you done, do you think?
Well, that's pretty good.
Okay. Hang on.
Yeah.